Chili here with Sirius Talis Moon, and this is what prompted me to press record. ICE is out of control, raids wrong homes in Oregon. That's the end game, Falcon. That's the end game. Um, I've been tending to the topic of basically the ritual abuse and wealth consolidation ever since I heard about this because that's the core issue. That's the core issue. That's the core of the classified project budget. That's the core of what funnels public money to assassinate the ability of the public to have any rights, not just money, but resources. And people, certain people being told that they can buy their ticket to Noah's Ark by targeting individuals. And of course that's a treason cult. And I said, well, in the best case it's like Al Gore Hiss. Well, Al Gore Hiss, Al Gore Hiss was after the Second World War. We're now before and during, and this is um, different agenda, different strategy. Um, Point guns at babies. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh God no. Uh. Oh God no. Okay. I was actually looking at Oregon because the Salem witches were there. Company I bought a talisman from is in Oregon, and I would be receiving a ton of things about Oregon. I had a colleague that was also tarot reader, and she was homeless once, and she said she was the one that told me about the death in concentration camps that it was about to form in Oregon, and I've been talking about this for 3 years, nonstop. Um, that what's happening right now, that was the end game. It was never about the deportation. It was never about um, the immigrants. It was about this, and uh, like um, remember I talked about the killing of the dogs, and I said that the dogs are protecting the property, and this is. It reminds me of Australia during COVID. Um, and I know if it happens in Oregon, it happens in many places. This is uh, Park Rose, Park Rose permaculture, and it's just 3 hours ago. This is yeah. Um, it's really difficult, you know. Um, this is something that when it comes down to this, you know. Of course, it's gonna arrest you as citizen. Like, um, children, moms. That was to begin with the that was to begin with the goal, because I don't know why, other than, you know, that is something that's just, and this just shows us when they talk about deportation of immigrants, that's what they mean. That's what they mean. Um, for me, when it came to like my other country, which is Netherlands, then I actually tended to political assassination prevention of the very politician. I said, well, we also have to tend to the things in our culture. And somewhere along the way, I got some woman that says if I talked about it, I would be dead. And wherever that came from, um, then Lars talked about it, and um, this is beyond challenging. I think because at the end of the day, you know, the end game was what we see here, globally. Okay, that's basically what the desired effect, and you know, this is just, and they're targeting the children, and basically baby giving device. Before they say that, the baby giving device, and um, I'm tending to political assassination prevention. There are so many things that have to do with what they call the cloning farms, and how that affects and creates life that is beyond impossible from cradle to grave. Um, and 3 fucking years at least I tended to this topic. Um, and to be very honest, I feel quite helpless quite often, because I know it's not something we can just let go of, because that would be living in a Holocaust. And the Holocaust was not just for Jews, it was everybody that the regime didn't like was a Jew. Okay, so that was. I don't live in this. Is a particular. No, they registered that because they needed to report the success of the operation, basically, what it was. Um and no German child looked like the Irish blonde. Okay, this was children that they stole to make it impossible to look Irish, to put everybody in concentration camps. That's basically what they did then. Um, and now, yeah, this is. I have, I was sleeping, and then there was an attempt to assault me, um, with dark occult or computer interface. I don't know. Um, then I was like enraged and opened the internet, and I see this. And they got arrested. Um, so at the end of the day, yes, I understand it's the 12th house, and what is done to people in prison and in hospitals and in secluded places and so on. Yes, then it happens to people upon invasion, even if it's so-called alien invasion. Um, and at the same time, uh, yeah, it's like, what did Americans need to get to this, which is their government Nazifying their homes, those that still have homes somehow, and Oregon is not a cheap place to live in. So if it's done in Northern America, so you understand that the situation for people that are not in those sectors um, is not better. Let's just put it that way. Um, I have been seeing just a lot, way too much of this Nazi ideology, um, operating, and it's sad for me, sad for everyone. Um, so we need to understand that this thing is not a local Oregon thing. Um, Astrologically, if people want to know, then this is Mercury hour when I saw this. Um, Moon trining Saturn and Jupiter. It's a grand trine, grand water trine. Neptune in Pisces. The bisextile with Neptune in Pisces. Uranus Mercury hour from where I saw it, so it's the lady posted it 3 hours ago, so that would be Oregon. I don't know if she's from Oregon, but Uranus Sedna, global betrayal, got to do with Mercury in Scorpio, military operation, psychological psyop, but Lilith, sexual sovereignty here. I think that happened here something that they didn't report, because Lilith is sexual sovereignty. So, and I got there was attempt to rape me, and then I got pissed off. I opened my phone and I saw this thing about what happened in Oregon, and 23 degrees Scorpio. The moon was going over Lilith and Mercury and Mars. This is 12th house of United States. It's 12th house of United States. So again, what's happening in prisons, what's happening in bedrooms. Then basically in jails, basically is the beginning of invasion, but this time by the government. Mercury rules the 10th house for United States. Rahu is the 4th, which would mean the homes of the people being treated like refugees. Saturn in Pisces. Also, the point of Ketel is important. But they would force, for example, when I attended to that, I was literally forced to be in position where I would eat meat, or not have access to nourishing food or whatnot. Like it's beyond. Like if I try to do like planetary charity and stuff like that, there was a megalithic challenge. Sun closing square to Pluto in conjunct in Uranus in conjunct in Saturn Neptune, ruling over ascendant. The leaders, the government at the homes of the people. People are leaders, leaders are people. Yeah, it was like a nervous breakdown I had. Before seeing these. I know the eclipses are going to accentuate the people of United States, and I said all eyes on United States, um, with the eclipses in Pisces and Virgo. Also the Netherlands 1800 chart, but yes, I get I can get pissed, but I don't know what it helps or not um, in such moments. No, in the past, since COVID, um, I was meeting people from all walks of life. Okay, doctors around my thesis, academic people, homeless people, criminal people, um, politics, um, people that do all kinds of weird hand gestures with intelligence people, or the people that they make them do these hand gestures and are not at all consenting, or not that anybody is consenting there. Exactly. Um, refugees people, and went through a lot myself. And I've stayed focused what the core of the issue. Um, I have to admit I'm exhausted. I guess we all are, and it makes sense. Mm. It's only by chance that I know it. I just had a tarot reader friend, and she told me that there was only one minister, or in the American Gemeente, I don't know what's it called. It's a country, so the weird way they do the regime there. I cannot call it democracy. I mean, so there was only one person that didn't want decent concentration camps for the homeless, and then there was violations of the First Amendment. Um, people got arrested, put into forced labor. Well, I think many people probably can't speak, and that's where Salem was. So it's kind of creepy. It's a lovely place next to. There's some rocks there and next to the ocean. But and if that's happening in Oregon, then that's happening everywhere. It's just like it's just like the folks from Oregon can somehow still report it. Probably that's the case. And um, I don't know what to do at this time. It's kind of a megalithic 7th October that nobody's talking about, but in United States, and just so many things, so many things. when it is atmosphere and we're astrologers and there's this MK often, and I'm like, yeah, because it is so. It's kind of like I went from academia, then I studied aromatherapy. In the meantime, I did some astrology, and then I dabbled into attempting to channel. Now, I was working with none of these MK oftens, so um, so it's kind of like everybody's wondering who is who, and after the Ukraine war, during the Ukraine war, it was somehow okay. Then I think it was when I started to cover NATO, because there was this bigger. It's kind of like the Ukraine war started like mid-COVID, and then it got bigger with the raising the 5% for NATO and so on. Um, and I can I can attest that my um, Slavic colleagues have been diligent the entire at least half a decade to warn people of what they see, and um, American colleagues could not speak about like anything without like this was in Soviet US of A. It was so and then of course I sounded it was my 7th of October it was my turn to sound like a clown who cannot even say the word genocide because probably that would mean then death in torture, and I was tortured like psychically almost to death. So while I'm an astrologer and there's this declassified MK often thingy, and that is and everybody knows that that's not really saving those who are perpetrators to do those. Those that burned the witches ended up on the guillotine. It did not help the witches. But then there were also the witches that were targeting individuals to be trafficked. So it's kind of like, okay. Um, and it's almost my Mars return. And I have a Mars return with Mars on a 22-degree Scorpio. So, I mean, of course, all of this is applying to oppose Uranus and opposing Beta Persei. Then, naturally, it's hectic in the sky. Um, yes, definitely. Like, so the astrocartography lady talking about 2026 as a possible civil war. I haven't watched the entire like significations, but everybody knows Uranus, Gemini is civil war clock, and in the U.S. as well. What now? Um, so yeah, it's civil war clock in the USA, and this eclipse is with the fourth house accentuated, leadership being purged. I'm just going over my own feed with you. see if there's something. White House wreckage. What do you mean? Okay, what happened? I had this Pentagon going boom, and I was like, I had no idea if I was just angry at being targeted individual or it's actually a premonition, but I just flowed with that. And who cares about tax evasion right now? Like, I mean, that's less money funneled to classified projects. They have money, they have resources. They're just making drama to deprive we the people from that. And the fact that they grew up in this death code, so they have everything and they're stressed because, yeah. Um, okay, this is so local. Any news? Now, in United States, people talk about the Targeted Individuals Project. And again, if people don't know what is targeted individuals, Google that. Not right now. It's well, there is still uh, well, it's still Googleable. Oh, by the way, several of my colleagues noticed when we did mundane astrology that there was a complete vanishing of many historical records from Google. Suddenly, they talk about Netherlands. Um, oh, The Hague against Israel. We must cooperate with UNRWA and then be accused that UNRWA also rapes. Which NATO at least is smart. It says Security Council decision 1325. Even if the staff of the forces is rapey, then NATO's not gonna vouch for all the dumb fuckery, which is smart. Israel did nothing of that sort for quite obvious reasons. And um, yeah, in the United States, for people from the military, they say that they promised men to have women, and that the women in the military were like promised to the men. Like, I don't know what that dumb fuckery means, but anyway, they're trying to reduce sexual assaults in U.S. Army since 2018. And IDF is a mandatory army service, so we had a lawyer, Israeli lawyer, that exposed human trafficking within the army, um, oak within the prison. It's nothing, it's world news, news, world, something. Trump pardons convicted Binance founder. Okay. Israel needs to provide basic needs for territory for Gaza. Marathon this, marathon that. Sanctions against Russia. Oil sanctions, unfriendly act, and move to solar energy. No, seriously, if Putin moves to solar energy, there will not be Bolshevik revolution. No, he was good in infrastructure. That's infrastructure. I remember when Trump had crazy ideas and I was covering NATO chart and it was like stereo. Is canceled the meeting with Putin. Okay, Trump canceled the meeting with Putin. Um, no jabs about no Epstein to meet again. Win an unforgettable VIP at the World Athletics Award in Monaco. I said something with the stealth wealth in Monaco. World Chess British soldier. Bloody Sunday killings in North End. Okay, we still got Britain on the map. Let's read news about Britain before it disappears because they forbade any type of communication there. It is. NATO sending a pigeon to the British crown or something. Acquitted in murder, attempted murder, 1972. Okay, so when I hear such historical news, it tells me that it's hiding a lot of things that we're not told about right now. Um, he prays with the Pope. The Pope called him an antichrist, no? So this is Christ and Antichrist. Don't ask me who is who. I don't know. Trump said something that alarmed analysis. I don't know. Okay, chess players. Top AI assistants misinterpret news content. That happened before AI as well. Nothing about United States raiding its own people and pointing guns to children and women, arresting its citizens. Nothing. USA News something. White House News. Are we gonna hear about something? Continues proud presidential legacy. White House East Wing demolished, new images appeared to show. They're rejuvenating the place. I said it's gonna need to be rejuvenated. Did I post that? Um, Trump's planned $300 million ballroom. Now, with the face of the dollar, this could be. This could soon become affordable budget. They're not coming for your guns. That's the good news. They're coming for um, your souls. Um, Trump make announcement on human trafficking during White House. Okay. Um, San Francisco Bay Area immigration operation cancelled for now, probably after the arrest in Oregon. Person arrested after driving into a barricade near the White House. Secret Service. I said the White House go boom. And oh, don't drink and drive. I guess you see, MK often is targeting individuals, and a number one citizen is Oak, an individual. Um, then they renovated the East Wing. A self rejuvenation of what is set in stone. So on the White House wreckage. um, Absolutely nothing about ICE arresting American citizens, supposedly by mistake, particularly those with pregnant women and babies. The IDF seemed nervous. Kidnapped at sea by the Israeli military. Okay, I guess I shouldn't. Let that be broadcasted by my colleagues. China's social credit system is gang stalking the new normal. Um, I don't know. Is China activating ICE on U.S. citizens? Yeah, they want to own the means of productions of children. Um, okay. America's only orange monarch. Oh, with the MK Ultra monarch. No kings to in Portland. The demonstration for the No King. House of Orange, no comment. What is Gooners? I don't know if I want to know. Uh, that is what I guess they call love. Um, I think that they were not Islamic. Um, anyway, I'll go and watch this latest video on that guy that talks about the White House wreckage. This isn't technically illegal to to have a car accident. It's not illegal. To be homeless, yes, but but not to have a car accident. Now, a lot of people have RVs. It's illegal for them to be homeless or to park anywhere, but it's not illegal for them to car crash. And yeah, I mean, Taurus was convoys. It was trucks stopping mid-road and eating a lot of food, um, and Gemini is movement, and so it's the RVs. They can't park anywhere. It's illegal to be homeless, but to crash into the White House seems to be okay. It's an accident, but Uranus and Gemini will definitely be rebellious vehicles. Oak exploding ones, which is Well, actually, my mom told me anything interesting here. Oh, sorry. It's not private, but it's a small channel. I don't want to put the fire on people um, uncalled for. So, but she told me there were a lot of like cars crashing. So I guess that's it. Because Gemini's cars, also Venus and Uranus is explosion. Um, so cars exploding might be a feature or a bug. Um, it's my fourth house, and I'm like, normally for a Gemini fourth house it would be like an RV or something, and I don't have a driving license, and that RV could explode. um, okay. Anything more to say about? Just take a look at the comment. I mean, it's a public section. Anyone can pretend that they are ice and drag someone off to be kidnapped, or far worse. I think that is less scary. Because that the any ones that are the government are the ones that are doing the really scary stuff. Um, how are we even supposed to know if these are real officers or are we being kidnapped? The question if it's real and not real is going to come up a lot with this AI Neptune sextile. It's insane. Yes, it's true. We are witnessing an ethnic cleansing. No, you're not. You're witnessing an all humanity cleansing. that's that's uh, what Pritzker? There's a guy named Pritzker announced an accountability public record in Illinois to start aggregating evidence. Pritzker. So for people in Illinois, that's Chicago, Illinois. That's where Chicago is at. It's the other side. I don't know if it helps people in Oregon. Oh my God, she shows a baby crying. Oh no, that's too. My heart is too sensitive for that. Um, they are unmoved by what they are doing. Yeah, they were forced to watch horrible things and were probably cocktailed with a shit ton of drugs that later Teva Pharmaceuticals launches as a groundbreaking treatment to mental health. So, and then the doctor will say, well, how do you know it's from the pill? Then, how do you know it's from the shot? And with the medical, uh, uh, with the criminal, jurisdicious part of medicine, probably they adopt the. But sometimes it's even true because, um, yeah, we need to push state and local elections to start cracking down on ice breaking laws. What do you think is the state? What and how? And why do you think the locals are elected? She said, "I'm amazed that no one has emptied a mag at these masked armed men busting through their door." She's aiming at the Second Amendment. Um, it's gonna give civil war. I mean, think about it. The Civil War was about slavery, but this is like, yeah, the arrests are starting to happen. Need to start happening. What the fuck are local police doing? Targeting individuals from your tax money. Um, San Francisco, they flashbanged a pastor in the face. Uh, uh, no comment. When you offer Klansmen 50,000 sign-on bonus, give them guns to play with, and let them keep their masks on, what do you expect? With my X-ray vision, I can see all the swastika tattoos on all ICE Gestapo agents. I believe you. Radical leftists would usher a tyrannical authoritarian police state. They said that radical left has nothing to do with which side it is. Those things existed in Biden's regime. Trump just didn't stop them. But it definitely addresses the housing crisis. He definitely does make the problem bigger. And is it going to be holistically solved by that? I don't know. Um, I am ashamed to be American. Don't be, it's a global issue. Um, okay. They took the wrong people. ICE would say they were brown, so they would say it was the right people. Fulkin, it's not going to stop at the melanin folks, okay? It's just. um, and I say that because there's always going to be that division. It's a femicide, it's a this, it's a that. And they just want to destroy all humanity and have people that are only like mind controlled and cloned. Um, and to mind control people, they do sexual boundary violation and torture. Um, what the heck did they? He was complying. What did you expect the guy to do? He was doing a Wu Wei on them, and it was definitely not expecting that to happen. The most dangerous person is a scared cop with a gun. Okay. Hearing ICE yell in Spanish is so cringe. um, they actually show the arrest here, so you cannot legally enter a residence without a warrant. Um, yep, that's. It's not the same United States. It's not the same United States. Um, people talking about Trump, that started way before Trump. Most of these families, after being separated and detained, will probably be deported and never see family again. Now, where will they be deported? I don't know. They're U.S. citizens. So, separation of families and so on. Again, things we saw. in the Second World War. I spine weapons like chemical weapons. Yeah, that's the thing. And I remember when Lada said, and with Uranus ingress to Taurus, buy land before, and so on and so forth. And she returned with her family to Bulgaria, and unfortunately, that's not really super useful when the government decides to do those things to just people. At first, it's women, then it's immigrants, then it's brown people, then it's beige people, it's, then it's disabled people, then it's people with compromised immune system, which is kind of like the inbreds that they don't want people. No offense to compromised immune systems, okay? Um, I mean white. Then there are the ultra white, which may have been produced in a Ford factory. Um, and, and if you think, oh, that's technological, no, it's not. It's torturing usually very young girls as well. Okay. Not the best news. This is something like that was happening, is still happens in other places in the world, let's say it. Yeah, it's. And when such things happen, it's like really no one is safe is a very true saying, because people like to talk about how there's certain people that didn't come to work at the 9/11 and so on. Yeah, but it's not like they know what happened with them. Okay, it's not like they were like saved or um, and that's the thing. It's like if a person doesn't know too much, they don't know if they're going to be saved or sacrificed. And it's a death cult. And if they do, then they're targeted. So that is, and then they try to get people to crave power. But then with power, if a person doesn't have too much power, then they feel disempowered. And then when they have a lot of power, then they are targeted. The only regime where a person can finish, a term and go back to their business is a democratic regime, and unfortunately, we've only had approximations of that. Um, yeah, sad, annoying, distressing. Um, and those